So, I would like to begin this video with a little story. The other day, I was at the grocery store, and although I had more vital food to buy, the only thing I was looking forward to purchase was the fundamental component of my favorite breakfast, which is cereals. And in particular, a specific brand of cereals that I will not say here, with a specific flavor. Anyways, I went there and I rushed to the cereal um, section, and to my surprise and to my disappointment, my favorite cereals were the price of my favorite cereals was raised. And so I look at the price and I deem it absolutely nonsense for the quantity of cereal that was in it and the product that is. And so because I had a big option, a big selection to choose from, I decided to look around to see any other option. And there were other cereals that were discounted, and but those were not on my taste. And so I kept looking. And there was one little package of cereals that I had noticed in the past already. They were on my taste. It sounds really good. The packaging of this product was really fancy, and it seems to me to be representing like the higher, uh, the fancy, higher quality solution. And I never actually bought them because the price was absolutely nonsense, even not discounted. It was actually the higher quality, more expensive option, and so I will always keep it, preferring my favorite one, which, by the way, had more product in it, more grams of product in it. So I was like, I always choose the other one. But at this time, surprise, surprise, uh, they were in discount. So the higher quality, supposed to be higher quality fancy product, were discounted down, and the discount had this yellow tag. All right. There was like a flashy kind of contrast with the gray undiscounted tag underneath. Anyways, however, the price discounted of this higher quality fancy series was the same price on my undiscounted favorite cereals. And here the magic happened. Now, that price doesn't seem so absurd to me anymore. And because my favorite cereal had more product in it, I was about to change my mind again when I was about to pick up the fancy cereals, and I was like, oh, it's the same price. So, you know what? Let's take my favorite, you know? And so I changed my mind and I went for my favorite again. And something happened that made me reflect and made me fun enough reflect about our society um, and a principle of the philosopher Zizek. And it made me think that sometimes doing nothing is an act of rebellion. And I would like to explain you this and how I come up with this philosophical idea while choosing cereals for my morning. So Our current ideology is an ideology of capitalism and productivity. Is a productivity center ideology. So basically, the what was once just limited to the factory, so to the workplace, so the time is money kind of thinking, be always efficient, uh, there is no time to waste, go, 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 profit, 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 productive, production, production, as being transposed to our own life. So now we live our life as our own, in like if we were a brand with our name on it, and we live our life in a way that as if we were supposed to always produce something and be productive and do something with our life, and so to maximize our time and uh, our I don't know, profit or whatever status, achieve our goals, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm talking about anyway. And so this makes our life, looks at our life through different lenses, which means that now everything we do has to have a mean to an end. So like everything that we do, it has to be of some advantage to us. So we don't start a conversation with a stranger just because, for whatever reason, um, we wanted to strike a conversation with this stranger because we see something that interests us and we're curious about whatever this stranger is doing. No, no, no. We are talking, we want to talk with this stranger because it can be a networking opportunity, because it can be of advantage to me, because I can use those information for whatever suits my purposes, and so on and so forth. And so basically, there are no boundaries anymore. We constantly work. We constantly trying to be as productive as possible. And so we exploit ourselves. That's why there is a epidemic of burnouts in these periods, because people just exploit themselves. They work all the time because they think that this is the way they will achieve whatever their goal, and this is the way they will achieve happiness, right? And so we exploitation became a virtue. Being busy became a virtue. Consume products, buying stuff to compensate for our misery has become a virtue, has become normal. All right. And so why I tell you all this? Because when I was at the grocery store, it made me think about a philosophical concept from the philosopher Zizek. And I discovered this concept, this maxim, if you want, which Zizek described as I would prefer not to, through the outstanding good YouTube channel of Julian de Medeiros, which is like a professor of philosophy that makes beautiful video in which explain complex topics in a really simple way. And I really love his YouTube channel. You should check it out. I will give you the video I'm referring to down below. Anyways, in this video, he explains the Zizek idea of the maxim, I would prefer not to, and the importance of doing nothing. Okay? So the point is this. In a society where productivity, action for an end, is the normal, doing nothing, it becomes an act of rebellion, which means that when I went to the store, I was supposed to make a decision. I had a bunch of options in front of me, and I had never, one single moment in my life, questioned those options. All right? So I never questioned like the prices, the discounts, all those things. And so when I was stuck in this option for a few minutes, and I start to think like, but by not doing anything, by not taking a decision, by stepping back and wait, I went like, wait a minute, wait a minute, what, like, are these prices real? Who decides these prices? You know, why now I'm thinking that this price is not an exaggeration anymore. Now it sounds pretty reasonable because there is more product respect of this one. Who decided this? And why do I want to silver in the first place? So this is the beauty of doing nothing. Is that you can take a step back and start to question the thing, your option. So it's like the classic example of the matrix, right? Red pill and blue pill. The option that Zizek is talking about is the third pill, which questions all the choice itself, the structure of the choice itself. Okay? This means this is an act of rebellion. So what I want to communicate in this video is that in a world of unquestioned productivity and actions, doing nothing sometimes is the best way of taking control back of your life. And this was what basically Thoreau wrote about in 1845 in Walden, where he actually questioned everything about his reality. And this practice of questioning has been lost because the current ideology, the power in charge, doesn't want you to question those things. He wants you to go at the store and buy your cereals and get out. That's it, no questions. Okay? He doesn't want you to change your morning or stuff. He wants you to buy the cereals regardless of the price and get out of there. Okay? And this is actually a concept called Wu-Wei, which is like a Chinese concept that is that it means literally non-doing. Okay? And so is by non-doing that you can start doing things that are not considered actions in the current ideology. What I mean by that is that if during your day you feel like that you must do something productive with your day, and if you don't do that, you will feel miserable. But if you do those things, you check all the boxes, then you will feel like relief. You don't feel good. You feel I just maintain my thing, you know? So every day we start at -10. And then if we do everything right, all the boxes, all the checks, all the stuff, and we arrive at the level 0, which is relief. It's not contentment, it's not happiness, it's relief. If you resonate with this, because for sure it was true for me, non-doing can be a powerful act of rebellion, because non-doing is a non-action, which means by doing nothing, you can start to do things that are not that is considered nothing from the current for the current ideology. So, for example, wander, take a walk without your phone, without your AirPods, look around, observe the world. Ask yourself, why is this tree here? Where it came from? Who planted it? You know, like, are these kind of birds living here? All these questions, it might sound like naive and silly, but is, and they might sound suspicious to others, as Julian said in his video, because what is he doing if he's doing nothing? You are lazy, you're a sloth, you are a fool, you're an outsider. But it's by embracing this feeling, the spirit of the fool, that one can begin to live a more meaningful life, a more intentional life. And so this is exactly what made me go, wait a minute, last time. And so even though, like, from the outside, someone will have, imagine someone was looking at me at that moment, staring at the cereals section for minutes, okay, doing nothing, just thinking, okay. And then imagine that someone who saw me when I lift the flashy yellow discounted tag and realize underneath that it was the same price. It was the same price. It was just fake. They were not discount. And actually, I should have took a picture of this, but I'm pretty sure if I go back to the store, I will find some fake discount anyway. And this might not surprise you, but it surprised me, because I never questioned any of this. I just suppose that, oh yeah, discounts sometimes happen because whatever, and I can take advantage of them, and that's it. Like, I never thought that actually someone could fake them. And it's by non-doing that I started to question why I was doing this in the first place, what I could do instead, right? And I questioned the structure of the choice of cereals. I lifted the price and I see there was the same underneath, not on my cereal, but like in two other products, and I was like, what? And I don't want to say that this is just how our capitalist world works, I guess, right? These things happen all the time, and this is not even the biggest injustice and unfair thing that you will see in the world, but this is not the point. The point is that realizing that those things exist, that we are flags moving, whoever is blowing the wind the strongest, we move. You know, my decision was not a real decision. It was not a personal decision. It was not a choice. It was just confined on the frame of these are my options. That's it. It's not possible for me to leave the store without buying anything. Imagine someone looking at me and say like, what he is doing. Because when you question the structure of the current ideology or the power in charge, this is always a threat. It's always a threat. And so they don't want you to do that, simply. And they want you to keep going and keep running on the wheel of productivity and of chasing success and status and be the best version of yourself, and don't question any of that. And they train you to look with suspicious to other people that are doing nothing, that are lazy. Oh, what you don't have a career? Okay, why a career is important? In his book, Jacob Ludwig, he says there is a beautiful sentence. He says nobody could explain the why of things. Just like nobody could explain why should I have a career? Just that a career was important. And this is, I found this extremely powerful and a sheer act of rebellion. And I wanted to share it with you. And so eventually, the end of the story, I turned my back and I left, thinking that maybe I could eat something healthier than cereal. Maybe I could change my breakfast habit. And maybe I realized the cereals were not so important after all. So, thank you for your attention. I hope this video is of some use to you. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, or send me an email, and see you next Sunday.